welcome. This is my late night edition because it's late night for me. But for some of you, it's like midday, right?
Acoustic bass guitars. Those are pretty affordable and they sound great. They feel great too. Really easy to play. Like really easy. Not really cumbersome. It's not where the body is like too big, and it actually feels really good, especially the 5-string one. I've been trying to get them to do a 6-string version. That would be so dope if they did a 6-string version of an acoustic bass guitar. That's because who's making that? I only saw Warwick, do that. Like that, was it like the Alien? Is that what it was called? But that thing is like a couple of grand. I don't know if they still make those. But that would be so dope if they did just a 6-string acoustic bass guitar. All right, and it's something that was like $800 or whatever. It doesn't have to be something that's super expensive, because it's like, you know, I've heard things of like, oh, you know, like you have to get something to like reinforce it, or you have to get, but it's like we're in 2025 and like 6-string bass has been around. I mean, if you think about when it was its first conception, you know, with Mr. Anthony Jackson, we're talking about 50 years, or almost 50 years. 1970, well, yeah, 50 years. 1975 is when he had his first prototype built by Mr. Carl Thompson. So it's the 6-string bass is nothing new, right? It only went more into production in the 80s. And even then, I mean, this is a 40-year-old instrument, right? So that's the thing, you know, the bass has evolved a lot. So I want to see more acoustic bass guitars in the 6-string format. Who else wants to see that? I definitely want. And maybe I can influence Ibanez to do the first one, the first production one. Who knows? So if you're just jumping on here, this is my late night edition. Well, it's late night for me, and this is something that I'm going to be doing. I'm still trying to figure out the right time, especially since daylight saving is going to start for me next week, and I know some of you are going to come out of daylight saving. So I'm still kind of playing around with the time. How does this time work for people? I mean, as I go along throughout tonight, I'll see how this works. But I'm still kind of playing with the time to see what works for people, because that would be really cool to do like a twice a week thing, one for the time zone for you guys who are awake, and then my usual one that I do, which is usually when a lot of you are like, it's the middle of the night. But anyway, I wanted to do this so that there's like a lot of you are able to participate instead of having to. I mean, it's cool when you get to watch the replays of my live streams, but a lot of you have messaged me and said, oh man, I wish I could tune in and be able to comment live and ask questions, you know, because that's the whole point of what I do, why I do live streams. But anyway, the time for me, it's 11:40 p.m. So 20 minutes to midnight. So I'm up, I'm playing, I'm hanging. The neighborhood is fast asleep, but that's all good. And so, hey, have you got any questions about bass playing? Any questions, whether it's gear, techniques, anything, concepts, you know, whether it's doing soloing or playing chords or anything, recording, playing in a band, anything like that, just pop it down in the chat. You know, this is a little bass hang that we're doing here. And we'll just see how this goes. I'm going to do some playing, do some talking, whatever you want to know. Just pop it down in the chat. I'm just going to keep playing a bit. And this is just super relaxed, real casual. If I can remember the changes that I played here, this is totally improvised. something like that. Again, it's like later at night, so I'm like, wait, what did I play? Recommend a lightweight 5-string bass. Got in an accident recently and hurt my back. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. Hope you have a speedy recovery. And yeah, totally. Now look, at the end of the day, so I'm a endorsed Ibanez artist, and so of course I'm gonna recommend an Ibanez bass because, you know, like an Ibanez sound gear or a BTB, they are pretty lightweight and they are under $1,000 and they sound and feel really good. They're very easy to play, like thin neck, light body. So I recommend just having a look there. Of course, there are so many other companies out there. I mean, there's so many great instruments out there. But, you know, of course, I'm gonna be repping Ibanez because, you know, they've been really great to me and I believe in their instruments, and they do have some incredible instruments that are lightweight. You want a 5-string? Absolutely. This bass that I'm playing is not very lightweight. This is a very heavy bass. And so I definitely recommend, however you've been told by maybe your physicians or your doctors, your GPs, you know, whether you have to stand or sit and play, definitely make sure if you're going to be sitting, make sure you're sitting on a good, comfortable, even ergonomic stool or chair. If you're going to be standing or using a strap, I recommend getting the Groove Gear Duo strap, the one that evenly spreads the weight on both shoulders. Those are really good. You don't need to have a heavy bass in order to have one. You can have it on even a lightweight bass as well. They're really great. What I'm using right here is I'm using this strap pad that was made by a company here in New Zealand called Atmos, and they made this strap as well. And incredible handmade vintage style straps with these really cool strap pads that I had a hand in with giving them some suggestions and just some pointers when they were developing it. They sent me some prototypes to kind of check out, and I just gave them some feedback, and yeah, these things came out really well. So I have them on this bass, and I have another strap for my other 6-string bass as well. So yeah, Oz, I definitely recommend an Ibanez sound gear, and absolutely, they're very affordable as well, and really great. And of course, you know, just in those basses, especially Ibanez, they're so easy to modify. They're so easy to put in new pickups, or if you want to put a new preamp or hardware and all that, they're really easy to do that with. And I definitely recommend doing something like that if you always, you know, want to expand, you know, what you're looking for in your instruments. So that's the really cool thing about them. compression. Where are other people from? I know that a lot of people in the EU are awake, in the UK, Africa, maybe parts of Asia. You know who have I got on here? Thank you, Alex. Yeah, so I'm manually riding the volume on my microphone, and usually when I'm playing, I like turn it down because of this reason. I make a lot of clicking sounds with my mouth. That's why. And also, sometimes, depending on where the position of the microphone is, it sometimes picks up this weird slap back. Because I do have my amp on, but since it's like late at night where I am, it's midnight where I am, I've got the volume pretty low. But I still have the microphone on it, and a little bit of microphone just coming through on the live feed here. But usually when I do my regular live stream, which is usually on Wednesdays at 2:30 Pacific Standard Time. Since it's the daytime, I usually have my amp cranked. I mean, not too crazy, but I have it at a pretty substantial volume. But since my family is asleep right now, I'm not gonna do that, and also the neighbors too, right? So as I was saying, I'm just asking where are people from that are on here. I know there are people who are from the EU or UK, maybe parts of Africa, Asia. Where's everyone from? I'm all the way in New Zealand. That's why it's midnight for me. Hey Xenon, so no, this is not the same tuning as a guitar. So this is the tuning of what we call a contrabass guitar, or obviously the 6-string bass guitar. So if you know the tuning of a 4-string, the inner strings, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's a 4-string bass in there. All right, so we got E, A, D, G, right? And then for a 5-string bass, you're going to add a low B, which is this lower string below the typical, the standard low E. The 5-string bass is down here. For a 6-string bass, which is what I'm playing, then it adds a high C. So if you know the cycle of fourths, essentially from the B, the low B, it's all in fourths. That's what it is. Some people might tune it a little differently. Some people have their own kind of unique tunings. When I play bass, I'm using standard tunings on my basses. I'm not really doing any other tunings. Some bass players might tune the whole instrument down, maybe a half step or a whole step. But usually I'm just doing standard. Hey John X, nice to see you. Got you when it's the better time for you, right? And cats, if you got any questions about bass playing, anything, just pop it down in the chat. We're doing a little bass hang here. This is kind of something that I'm trying out for this, for your time zones, because I understand when I do my usual one, there's a lot of people, like pretty much a lot of you, who are asleep, and so this is a good opportunity for you to also be included, and this is a way for me to be able to connect and reach out to to you guys as well. So again, yeah, anything to do with gear, what else? Concepts, anything. Just pop it down in the chat. Anything to do with bass playing. And yeah, exactly, John. You did like the late night practice, which is what I'm doing right now, right? Which is pretty funny. We're kind of doing the opposites. I've got some things that I kind of want to just jam to. I kind of want to play along to. One of my friends, he's a great guitar player. He was getting me hip to. He on his live stream he played along to these like really cool kind of jam tracks. And so I'm just gonna pull one up here. Let's just see what this is like. They sounded pretty cool, and he was just sight reading some changes, so maybe I might just kind of sight read through some changes. Let's see here. It's called Ben's Jam Tracks. It's not mine. It's a different Ben. Ben's Jam Track. Ben Harrison is his name. So he's got like he's got a few things. He's got like a jazz funk fusion thing here in B minor, high ground. Let's give this a go. Might have to do some sight reading. I'm just gonna improvise over these changes. Let's see. I've never seen this before, and let's see what happens. I'm not gonna be the bass player here. I'm gonna be the lead, like a horn player. So let's see what we got going on here. High ground jam jazz fusion. Let's see. Nope, that's the. Okay. Oh, I gotta read a line. I want to try that again. There's a line at the beginning there. Let me see that. What is that? So what we got? Hey, this is in treble clef as well. Oh, let's have a go. All right, I think that's it. Breakdown section or something? Oh, here's that line. And then it's just the same thing like that. It just goes on and on. No, it doesn't want to stop. That's kind of fun. That's kind of fun, you know. Let's see, is this kind of freezing up, it says? It doesn't say too many dropped frames. But that just might be what's going on here. But audio is coming through. Yeah, I see it. It's even telling me here. I'm like, what? It says it's not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. See, this is what happens when you're like trying to tap off of the McDonald's Wi-Fi that's next door, you know? It's all good. Well, you know, it's a kind of fun little, that was kind of fun, just playing along to that. And so that was called Ben's Jam Tracks. Ben Harrison. So that's something that you want to check out. I definitely recommend doing so. Yeah, so, and I guess since I've never really jammed along to like on the live stream, I've never jammed to a YouTube video, so now it's like angry at me. The stream is angry at me. It's like, why did you do that? Why did you do that? It's like too much bandwidth, too much to handle. So it probably messed with the audio and the video quality of it all. It's like, man, okay, that's all good. I'm glad that, you know, maybe the audio was still coming through for some of you. And so yeah, Xenon, that was totally all improv. I was just sight reading those changes, the chord changes on there, just improvising. They had a little written out line there that I had to quickly kind of just sight read there. But that's the thing, you know, my sight reading is pretty good, and it's had to be for the type of work that I've done throughout my career, which is being a first call bassist. I used to live in Los Angeles, and so on the Los Angeles music scene, I was a top call bassist for sessions and gigs, and then also I was touring on the road quite a lot. And also I would be filling in for a lot of other top call bassists, you know, people who are much older than me as well. And so in order to be able to come in last minute, or just to be able to be called for a gig, you know, that's the thing, is that you gotta be a good reader. You gotta be, you have to be able to read chord changes and read any written out lines as well. And literally you might have like a few minutes to just kind of figure it out. Or sometimes you get on a gig and there's no rehearsal. You're just called. All right, you got to show up to this place, set up. All right, where the downbeat is at 7 o'clock. And sometimes you're going to be playing music that you've never played before. There's going to be a book of music there that you're playing along to, and you just got to read it. And also, a lot of times, you also might not be playing. You might be playing with musicians you've never really played with either, right? That definitely happens. And so you just got to be able to just fit in. You just go right in, and that's what it is, right? And so that's the thing, is that I've had to, in order to be able to work on any professional scene, being a good reader, someone who can come in, not only read the music, but also be able to put a great interpretation into the music as well. Being able to play with finesse, be able to play with soul, be able to make the music sound good while you're interpreting it in real time. Think of it like this. Whenever you have maybe had the opportunity to read a children's storybook to some kids, whether it's like a group of kids or maybe your own children or younger brothers or sisters or nieces and nephews or whatever, your friends' kids. You're reading a storybook. They're like, "Here, can you read this? Can you read me this story?" And it might be something that you've never read before, and so you're reading it, and as you're going along, you got to put some character into it, right? Because that's what the kids want. You want to keep them, entertained. You want to keep them engaged, and that's just part of the whole thing. You're not going to be reading a book, a children's book, to a bunch of kids where, and then the wolf came, and then what happened was then everyone ran away, and then, you're not going to do that. It's the same thing on a gig. If you're sight reading, you're not just going to be playing the notes. You got to put some vibe into it. You got to put your soul. That's the whole point of it. And majority of like a lot of great classic recordings where there's hired session musicians, they're reading charts. Maybe they've collectively come up with a bit of arrangement as well, because you also have to have an arrangement mind. And they're essentially putting their vibe into it. That's why a lot of those recordings sound good. That's the whole responsibility and duty as a hired musician, as a top call musician, is that we have to be able to come in and be a solution. We gotta, yes, get the job done, but we also gotta like contribute to the overall product. We gotta contribute to the overall picture, right? That's what we gotta do. We have to contribute to the audience, to the listener being pulled in to the overall musical journey. You know what I mean? That's the whole thing behind it. So yeah, it's how do you develop that kind of skill? Well, it's definitely years of experience of being around people who do that. I've had my butt kicked many times, not literally, but musically, by professionals, a lot of people who have mentored me, and this is how and it forces you to keep up, right? It forces you. It's just like, okay, just get back up and let's just keep going. That's the whole thing. And whatever the music is asking for, whatever the musicians that you're playing with, whatever is asking for, you just got to keep up. That's the whole thing. And it got to a point where I developed a reputation in Los Angeles where I was the bassist that could play a lot of people's complicated, hard music. So, playing with people like Billy Childs, who has a lot of, if you've never checked out Billy Childs, incredible Grammy Award-winning pianist, composer, arranger, one of the greatest pianists and composers out there, and he was a big mentor for me and huge learning experience playing his music. That's some of the hardest music I've played. It's mixed meters, his original compositions, and there's just so much going on his music is not predictable. You have to literally, it's almost like you're flying by the seat of your pants when you're playing his music. And so it's a lot of fun. But it got to a point where people were like, "Oh man, you playing Billy's music? Are you playing Billy's? Oh, well, then you could totally play on my gig." And so I'd be getting called for sessions playing complicated music. And I loved it. I don't regret it at all. It was something that I enjoyed, and it made me a better player because of that. It definitely helped me become more proficient on my instrument. It helped me just kind of spread a positive message, right? And so, and it exposed me to music that I didn't think that I would be playing as well. That's another thing. But yeah, that little line, that melody line that's in there, Xenon, yeah, that's luckily it wasn't too crazy. It was definitely just a ascending. Right. So I was able to pick that out. Sometimes you might have to come into sight reading a line that is just like, what is that? Right? That's the whole thing. And it's not really the reason why I play a 6-string bass. Some people think that I played the 6-string bass. It makes it easier to sight read. Not necessarily. It's the reason I play a 6-string bass is because I just love having the range, right? That's what I absolutely love. And there are also some gigs where I play where I don't play all the strings. Sometimes I'll play the 6-string bass as if I'm playing a 4-string bass. So I've done gigs where I haven't even touched the low B. I've done where I haven't touched the high C at all. And that's just what it is. A lot of it is also because, I love the feel of this bass as well. I have another 6-string as well that a lot of you have seen, my custom BTB. But a lot of the time, it's just like, when you feel comfortable on an instrument, whether it has 4 strings or 10 strings, you don't need to use all the strings. That's the cool thing. When you see a pianist playing 88 key piano, they're not always going to be playing all 88 keys. They have the option and at their disposal. I treat the 6-string bass the same way. That's how it is. And of course, you can see I got a few 4 strings floating around in the back. I've got a 5-string fretless in the back there, and I got a whole bunch of other basses on the side here that you can't see. And I'll pick up the 4 strings for when I want to play a 4-string. But generally, I'm going to be playing my 6-string because I feel really comfortable. So, yeah. How's everyone doing? I've been almost here almost an hour, and I'm kind of just we're just having a little bass hang. Any questions? Pop it down in the chat. I just also for those of you who are here, I just want to remind you that in the description box I got all my links to my Bass with Benjamin bass resources, so courses, and if you want to get a 30-minute lesson, one-on-one lesson with me, you can absolutely do that. You can just sign up for that, and we will just do anything. Even if you want to just play for me for 30 minutes and get some feedback, that's also an option that you can do in that. Or if you want to do a longer coaching program, that's also in there. But also this weekend, if you haven't already, I've got my bass chords workshop coming up, and that's 2 days of just bass chords where we're just going to dive in to different concepts, my whole approach to using bass chords. So different voicings that you can use on your basses, whether you're playing a 4-string or a 6-string, techniques, applications, all that great stuff. So you can sign up for that if you haven't already. That's this weekend, and I'm really excited about that. So if you can join me, I'd love to see you there. Yeah, Xenon, I got a fretless here. I'll bring it out, actually. I'll plug it in. It's a beautiful fretless, and it's actually a fretless 5-string version of this bass right here. So let's get some fretless going. Hey, and that's really cool. You don't play bass, you're just listening. Do you play an instrument, Xenon? Play guitar, so yeah, you know some, obviously there's some familiarity going on there, playing some things. But yeah, this is my fretless bass, and you're probably looking at it and go, oh, but there's frets on there. Well, they're lines, so it's a lined fretless, and the reason why it's a lined fretless is because this used to be a fretted bass. All right, and you can see that this is just a 5-string version of the bass that I was just playing before. And so this was the first bass that Ibanez gave to me. We're talking about almost 15 years ago when I joined them as an artist, as an endorsing artist. This was their brand new bass at the time, their bass line, the groove line, and so they gave me this one. And I used it for many years as a fretted bass, right? It's been all over the world. I've recorded a lot of it, countless gigs. And then when I got my 6-string version of this bass, that became my main bass. And then this one wasn't getting played so much, and I needed a good fretless bass. I didn't have one. And so I asked the people at Ibanez, I was like, hey, can you turn this into a fretless for me? And they're like, yeah. I said, you can do the whole Jaco treatment. Just take out the frets and fill in the fret slots with some veneer, right? Because I know Jaco used like wood putty, but you can get some cleaner fret lines if you use like a veneer. Use a veneer to fill it in, and then put like lots of epoxy. Coat it, just coat the fingerboard with a lot of epoxy. that's what I won. So they did that, and like 3 months later, I got the bass back, and it was incredible. So yeah, on a fretless Xenon, there's no physical, um, actual frets. The frets have been taken out, and so what you're left with, and on this bass, this is what we called a lined fretless, because obviously they're just lines of where the frets used to be, and you can get fretless basses where the lines are painted on. Some people like that look. You can also get a fretless bass that is just totally bare. There's no fret lines. There'll be side dot markers, right? Because you kind of need that. But yeah, it's just that. So it's, you don't have the frets interrupting the vibration of the strings. So right? And so the reason why you would not want to have frets, so it's really it's a sound, right? It really is a it's a sound. It's a totally different type of when you play sustained notes, because you don't have the frets interrupting the vibration of the string, so you do get a lot of sustain, and because the string is being pushed against the fretboard that doesn't have any steel to kind of give a different sound, you do get this moi kind of sound. And so that's essentially the sound that you would do. Some people like to slide if they're playing melodies. There's many different uses and reasons why people will play fretless bass, and there are a lot of bass players who have made the fretless bass their thing. Like, they mainly play fretless bass. Obviously, the biggest one in the history of bass playing is Jaco Pastorius, who was essentially he mainly played fretless, but he played a lot of fretted as well. He mainly practiced on a fretted bass, and when he would play live, he would play his fretless. But, in his later years, he was playing a lot of fretted. I mean, he's a bass player, so he could play any bass. But his thing that, we all know was on a fretless bass. Les Claypool is another one who plays a lot of fretless bass. There's a lot of Primus tunes where it's a 6-string fretless bass, which is really crazy, which is amazing. I mean, yeah, Les is one of the greatest. So he uses a lot of fretless. If you want to hear someone from the same era as Jaco, but like doing his own thing as well, there's Percy Jones from a band. Oh man, I'm totally spacing on the name. I gotta remind myself. See, it's late, so I'm like, oh wait, what is it? So Percy Jones, and so he was in a band called Brand X. So Brand X, they're like a British prog rock band, and actually, the original lineup, it was Phil Collins playing drums, and there's some videos of them playing with Phil Collins. That's the thing, Phil Collins, he's a fusion drummer. He's a jazz fusion drummer, man. Phil Collins could play the heck out of the drums. He's got a strong pocket, but I mean, like, when you hear him with Brand X, oof, you can hear the influence of like Tony Williams. You can hear like Billy Cobham. You can hear it, like that era of drumming. He's got that whole thing. That's what he was doing back then. And I even hear that the Sting was the same as well in the 70s. He's playing jazz and fusion and all that. Like, he's no joke either on the bass. Like, he can play, he's slapping and popping. He reads music. Like, these cats are, we might see them as just like, okay, these like big famous pop musicians, but like, they got some other things going on as well, But anyway, fretless bass. So yeah, Percy Jones is one to check out for sure. Steve Bailey is another cat. Great bassist, mainly also, plays 6-string fretless. Of course, we cannot forget the great Gary Willis. All right, Gary is an absolutely phenomenal fretless bassist who plays an Ibanez 5-string bass, and has just a beautiful touch, beautiful sound, incredible technique. Just absolutely amazing. Of course, from the great bands Tribal Tech. So yeah, that's the thing with instruments, is that people are gonna find their sound, their voice with what they use. Whether you're playing a Fender Precision bass or a jazz bass, or you're playing a fretless bass, or you're playing a 6-string, or a Chapman stick, or whatever, there's music for everyone, and everyone has an idea, has a vision of what they're trying to achieve and what they're trying to express. And a fretless bass is just another tool that can be used for this whole thing that we call music, for what we do when we make art. And so why do I play or have a fretless bass in my arsenal? Well, I have many bass guitars, and they all serve a different purpose, and the fretless bass is just one of those tools that serves the purpose in case I need to play fretless, which has been many times, whether it's been playing live or in a studio session. There might be something where like they want something like melodic, and like, oh, that might be good on a fretless. But this is the thing, the fretless, playing on a fretless bass doesn't have to be just a kind of singable thing. It can also get real punchy. You can play real funky with it. Like it's a really versatile instrument. It's not something that you would necessarily slap on. To me, it doesn't really have that kind of slap sound, the typical slap sound that you would play. That's when you would need steel frets. That's the thing. I'm not really into fretless slap. Although, again, Les Claypool was someone who did that. He made it work. He had a vision. He had a sound, right, that he was going for. And he figured it out. So, and there are also quite a lot of bassists that also use a fretless bass when playing metal as well. That's the thing. There are a lot, because they've figured out how they like using that sound with distortion and fuzz, like a real heavy sound, and that's just, that's something that works for them. Particularly if you check out the bassist, and he plays an Ibanez as well, Steve DiGiorgio, and he's a lot of you might know him from the band called Testament, and he's played with like Megadeth and all that. But he has a signature fretless bass with Ibanez. It's a 5-string, and so he's mainly a 5-stringer fretless cat. That's what he uses. So that's what he's into. So people use it. And I subbed because you elaborate more than anyone. Unfortunately, I'm getting tired, and we'll go to bed soon and have fun for the rest of your stream. Yeah, no, I appreciate it, and thanks for the subscription. I appreciate it. I think I'm gonna wrap it up as well. I might go to bed shortly. I might play along. I might just play it along to a tune. I might just play some groove. Just play some time. That's the thing. Is I like soloing. I like improvising and all that. But I also just love to play just some time. Because as a bass player, that's what we do. We play pocket, we play time. At least that's what I've had to do a lot in my career. So let me see. I might just play along with some kind of nightcap kind of R&B tune. Let's see. Make sure I put those on the stand without damaging anything. All right, let's see. Well, since it's nighttime, maybe I might play this George Benson tune. Let's play a classic George Benson tune. I'm gonna play "Gimme the Night" because it has such a great bass line. And it's just some nice time on here. It's fun to just play groove. So let's see. All right, let's have a go.
So come on out tonight, and we'll leave the others on the right. night. Give me the 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 night. So give me the night.
And that is Give Me the Night, and that is it for me. That's a night for me, because it is coming up to 1 a.m. for me. But whoever's here, and of course across the stream, and whoever's watching the replay here, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. This was another trial of my late night live stream edition, and yeah, I'll keep you posted as to what time exactly. I'm still playing around with the times here, so I might try it a little earlier next week. But in any case, I really appreciate whoever jumped on here and hung out. And of course, don't forget to subscribe and like, and make use of any of the links that are down in the description box, as well as my regular live stream that happens on Wednesdays at 2:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And usually for those of you who are watching this one right now, this is like, it's usually the middle of the night when that's happening. But if you do happen to be awake, make sure you tune into that one, because that's always a really fun one, of course. But anyway, whoever's here, thank you for jumping on, and be safe wherever you are, and I'll see you again soon. All right, take care.